Oh, hey, we're live. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't do the intro. So here you go, guys. Hang on one second. Here is the intro. All right.
Tangled in a web, I call it life inside my head, becoming blurred by so much said. I'm in too deep waters I tread, can't catch my breath. A shadow chasing me, a game of hide and seek. Found they'll have a
All right, that's better. That's funny what happens when you take a month off, I guess, eh?
Yeah, a little rust.
I think so, a little bit there, but it was definitely worth it for me. You know, I'm all recharged and ready to go, and we got some pretty decent shows coming up for you guys over the next little while. We're still booking for September, so we got lots of spots available. So if you know anyone that wants to share their story, just let Mike or me know, and there's ways to do so in the description box below. Also, I am officially now a member of the Satanic Temple. So
You Satanist.
there you go. Yes, that's right, because we actually believe in Satan, right? No, we don't. It's okay. This is generally a humanist organization, is what they are, really, if you think about it. And I'm a card-carrying member. This is just the sort of membership thing they give you. And
That's metal as fuck.
I know, right? And,
It's badass.
Hang on a second.
Oh god, no, don't put that on the stream. No.
No, don't worry, it's okay. It's not that. I'm not showing you that.
Oh,
I didn't get a
not that.
tattoo or anything, but they do give you this cool ass little card you can carry around, and it's got their 7 tenets on the back, which are all basically humanist type things, like treat each other like human beings and shit like that. So
Never.
yeah. So that's the big announcement there. What's been going on with you, Mikey?
Well, I've been busy over in Binland.
Nice.
So we have a lot of shit coming. Like, I may have overreached. Like, like I have like my good days and my bad days as far as like my mental health. Well, I had like too many good days in a row, so we have a lot of content coming. So, but I'm excited. We got a lot of good stuff coming. And baby's big. She's babbling.
No, she's gonna start yelling at you pretty soon.
And nah. I was like, don't you nah me. You nah. Sassafras.
Awesome.
Have to take this from you.
We do have Patrick here has decided that he's had to use an old desktop, so you're going to get some weird flashy shit every once in a while. So hopefully that doesn't bother you guys, but just kind of you won't even notice it after a few minutes if you're
it grows on you
like me. But anyways, that is our guest today for tonight's show, Mr. Patrick Hasenfratz, and he is a recent, well, shall we say, deconvertee, so sort of thing. And today we're going to hear pretty much how that happened, how Patrick finally decided one day, I don't believe this crap anymore. So, Patrick, what I do is I like to hear these kinds of stories, and we get to share them with all kinds of people because you never know when it's going to help somebody. And believe me, sir, I get lots of emails saying that what we do has been quite helpful for many, many people. So I'm going to let you take your story or tell your story to us. And generally, if we have any questions, we'll sort of, give you a little wave and say, hang on, we need clarity, or what did you mean by, or, that kind of thing. So take it away, sir.
Fair enough. Feel free to heckle me at any time. I could care less. I'm good with it.
Boo!
Well, we will.
You know what?
I
think
from the Muppet Show.
The old guys in the balcony. They're
yeah.
Cool. That's what I aspire to be.
This is my favorite part of the
been
show.
Accused of that. Yeah, right.
What part is that? The end. You know what? They, despite all the ridiculousness around them, they enjoyed themselves every show by complaining the whole time.
Yeah,
they like
right.
to complain.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
I have Lego
But-
minifigures of them too. So. All right, let's get to back to the reality there.
Now we're all warmed
Well,
up.
I don't know that it's really all that. I mean, I never really believed. I mean, I was raised Catholic. Did the church thing every weekend, mostly with my father. But I mean, he's passed since. But I
Did you,
never really was. Go ahead.
like Sunday school, like you're talking like since you were a little kid or like a teenager.
Since I'm little, it's
Yeah.
like a forever thing. My dad's generation did it, and the generation before that, and they went to Catholic, and I can't tell you about any scriptures, and I can't read you anything from the Bible. But if I were to go to a Catholic church tomorrow, I would know exactly when to kneel. I would know exactly what to say. I would know exactly what to do. It's boom, it's there.
There's
And
like
it's
there's like a routine that no matter which mass you drop into, everybody kind of knows
Yeah,
kind of
and
what's
they're just
going on.
kind of stand there like zombies. But I got another word for that now. But and I'm not really trying to judge, I guess.
Yeah.
I know that when I was as early as probably 8 or 9 years old, whenever they start sending into that catechism, I can't tell you what that consists of because I kind of called bullshit, even though I didn't know what it was then, because the rest of the kids would go off into the room and I'd go down the hall where there's a bathroom and there's a radiator at the end of the bathroom, and I'd climb out the window and go to the playground. And I did that for a year and nobody ever asked any questions. So I never actually made it. So I can't tell you what they said or share it with programming.
You would come back from the bathroom like all dirtied up with
In the window because it was too high. I had to hang drop. So I go to the playground and then I just come back around when they let out and your parents came to pick you up, and I'd kind of mingle in with the rest of the kids. How was catechism? Oh, it was awesome. I think my brother had to go, but whatever. I bailed.
Escaped and then rejoined the
Never
flock.
actually went, but I can remember always, and even growing up and as an adult, and even standing next to my dad in church every week, and my mom sometimes, but standing next to him. And I'm not saying anything bad about my dad, but he was just there wasn't any. I didn't really understand why, because I just kind of look around and it was the same thing all the time. And the one thing that they really were really good at was asking for money. But I just
God is broke, don't you know?
yeah, and then I just never really, and you couldn't ask any questions about it, because if you asked a question about it, it was just
I know
because
all about that.
because that's what you do. Because why do we even go here? Because that's where you go. And when I got old enough to where I kind of was able to just bail and just not have to go anymore, I just didn't. So I just was kind of floating around out here in the middle ever since. And that's kind of it, really. I mean, I don't really have any. I've heard a lot of stories since I've been here, and from a lot of different people and friends that I've picked up in the atheist community now. And it turns out there's a lot of people here where I live that I didn't even know that were atheists. But I never really understood that, or I don't think I knew what an atheist was. And I think that's a really big thing, because when people think atheist, I don't really know. And that's one of the questions I ask now when somebody comes to me or they say, well, what's that flag? Because I have a flag, dude. I got a flag. I got a cup. See my cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
the little atomic A.
Yeah, and people
Sons of
will
mice
ask,
stealing the collection plate cache to play Space Invaders.
yeah, right. I get it. But
playing Frogger.
I just, as long as I was old enough to think for myself, I just thought, well, this just doesn't make any sense at all. And from the any of the stories, any of it, it's just like there's a lot of holes in the story. How is that even possible? And so I just kind of dismissed myself from it. So I don't have the horror stories. Like some of the people got some shit, man, that they had to put up with religion. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. And I understand why they're angry. But
yeah, there's a lot of purity culture. There's a lot of like just they make you feel like you're not worth even being alive. And then the only reason that you're here is because Jesus saved your ass for some fucking reason. He needed to do that apparently. But and especially in Catholicism, where they got the trio, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and all that nonsense. It's like how can three beings be one being, and they seem to have some kind of an explanation for it that just never really jived, right? So, well, my biological family is all Catholic as well, so most of them, anyways. So
they claim to understand.
But I was raised as a Jew.
They claim to understand the Trinity, but someone who's non-binary completely escapes the realm of possibility to them. Like that, they can't fucking figure out. Like,
yeah, right.
Like gender dysphoria is a mystery, but the Trinity, let me tell you all about how 3 people are actually one space person and a ghost. like, come on, bro.
Space ghost.
Coast.
Well, I can remember even as far back as a couple of years ago. I mean, I didn't really know what an atheist was either. I was kind of considered myself kind of an agnostic, I guess, kind of like not really a believer, but just kind of in the middle. It was easier just to say you're agnostic because it's not like the question came up every day. And I have a lot of people that I know that are, it's the things that have happened since I've become an atheist that have kind of been a shocker to me a little bit. But, you know, I can remember a couple of years ago telling a friend of mine, because he made a comment when I was talking to him on the phone, that every time he sneezes, you never say, God bless you. I'm like, well, why would I say that? He's just well, that's just freaking rude, man. I mean, you stop breathing for a second when you sneeze, and you know, and it's just like you stop breathing for a second when you sneeze, and to not say God bless you. And I've asked a lot of people, and they've said that they've never even heard of anything like that. There's something wrong with you. And I'm like, dude, I'm an atheist. I just said it to shut them up. I didn't know what it was either, but I just, you know, I'm just like, I'm an atheist. Why would I say God bless you when I don't believe in God? I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. I can't say excuse me because I'm not the one that sneezes. Give me a break.
Gesundheit.
Still brings that up from time to time.
Literally means to your health. Just say to your health.
But when it actually came, we have a restaurant here called Weber's, and they have a beer at Weber's, and the lady that owns the restaurant's name is Stacy, and the lady that they have a beer called Stacy's Mom. It's named after her mother. And so I went to dinner with some friends, and they had this beer, and I'm just like, oh, this is good shit. I drank this beer. It's called, I'm gonna have a Stacy's Mom. So I had it, and then right after that, like a week later or less, I'm online and I'm on Facebook. Well, this D woman keeps popping up on my Facebook as people you may know, people you may know, people you may know. Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, so I click on it, and then I see the podcast, and I'm like, oh shit. So I'm watching it. And if you see Stacy, I mean, when people say that this is an atheist is, because I have gotten some feedback from people. Well, if you're an atheist, you're a devil worshiper, or you're going to be in hell for the rest of your life. Or they have this like you're a monster of some sort. Yeah. Look at you. Did you get Ginsu knives with that?
Yeah. That looks like it would be in a slick.
He said, Mike said metal, and I thought, I wonder if you got any Ginsu knives with that. But so I became friends with Dee. She's an awesome person. We're pretty good friends now. But
Dee's great.
We look at Stacy, and then I'm watching their podcast, and I'm thinking, well, she's exactly the opposite of everything that they would say that an atheist, paint that picture of what an atheist is. And we got to be friends, and then I met some other people, and I chat with the Warnock fella and stuff. And
Dave's great.
This community has helped me in so many ways. I mean, I guess if you were to ask when I deconverted, it would probably be like the beginning of June. That's when I actually found these people, and I found home.
Oh shit! It's only September.
Yeah. So I mean, have I been an atheist? I think I've been an atheist a long time. I just didn't know it. But I was really grateful to find this community, and I've gotten just so much help on things that I wasn't clear about. It made everything clear. All the unanswered Jesus questions and all the things that you always believed or didn't understand or called bullshit on. You're like, no shit. And so I saw some things on your show too, huh?
So it didn't make sense for real, and they were gaslighting you. Is what?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct. It's like I was right that didn't make any goddamn sense.
I was right all this time. It's just like
I knew this was bullshit.
Yeah, and then I was a little upset that I didn't find it a long time ago, but someone had made a comment. Well, I just got out of the hospital a little bit ago, so I just got back to work.
Yeah, it's good to see that you're still in tip-top shape, though, even after that. I mean,
well, better.
It's pretty fucking
sure,
scary. Yeah.
It is. So 3 stints later, and blood's flowing again, and we're doing what we need to do. But even with that, I mean, I've had a couple of surgeries, and I was talking to Dave Warnock about that because you know what he does. And that was that impresses the shit out of me what that man does and what he's doing with this. And it's just, So I was just thinking that, the first time, because I know, with the atheism and the way that people, I went to a Catholic hospital to get my knee replaced a few years back. And that's one of the first things they asked you. Well, I'm not the most sensitive. I call myself a realist, but that's just because I see things for what they are, not for what I want them to be. I don't really paint a pretty picture on anything. It is what it is. But I remember the lady asking me when I went to get it, and that was during COVID. Well, you weren't allowed to have anyone in the hospital. It was just all glassed off, and it was just, no one could wait for you. And the lady that was checking me in, she's like, well, I feel so bad because you can't have any family members here. And did you have a religious preference? I'm like, no, I'm not weak that way. And that was just the best way I could say it. And she looked at me like I was this horrible individual. And I'm just like, what else am I supposed to say? I mean, I probably could have phrased it better, I guess, but whatever. I'm going in to have my knee ripped out. Give me a break. But this priest kept coming in my room, and he kept coming in and wanting to pray with me. And he wouldn't take.
I bet you she said something. I bet you she said something.
Sir, this is a sterile room. Quit sprinkling water everywhere, sir.
But
this is a sterile operating room.
And I'm just like, he wanted to pray with me. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Me and Jesus are fine, so you can go talk to somebody else. And then a couple times after, he would come in. And the last time I finally told him, look, dude, you're really pissing me off. So I'm not interested in your God. I'm not donating to the Pope for his $1 million shoes. I'm not doing any of it. Move on, go talk to somebody else. Because if I have to get up a third time and we have to have this conversation, I'm going to get away with it because I'm medicated, and you're just going to, it's not going to be good for you. And he stopped coming after that. But, he did the little, as he left the room, I'm like, all right, cool. Now, this last time I went to a hospital that wasn't, not that I go to a lot of hospitals, but with this heart thing I had, I couldn't really get away from that. But I went to Toledo Hospital, which is a non-religious hospital, but they did ask the question. And they said, do you have any religious preference? I said, no. And they left it alone. Nobody bothered me. But I was in this little part of the hospital. There's an old part of the hospital where you don't have a bathroom in your room because I couldn't get into the good part of the hospital. It was full. And but the guy in the corner. Basically it was across the hall from me. But they had this little cubicle kind of thing. And the guy in the one next to me, I'd hear him on the phone. And he was talking about, and he was really loud. He was in there for the same thing as me. Give me a break. And he was talking to people on the phone like, oh, these are my final days. And I just want everyone to feel Jesus. And he's just carrying on. And I was kind of getting the idea that he might be a pastor or something. And I was bored to death because I was having surgery the next morning. I had nothing else to do. And I'm listening to this guy on the phone just being just as nice as he can be. But as soon as he get off the phone, he'd treat everybody that was on that floor, the nurses and whatnot, like they were beneath him. And he just was nasty and just rude. Right. And I don't really, I listened to that for a little while. Then I get up and go for a walk. And I was walking past his little cubicle, and he's just like, hey, buddy. And I kept walking. And then about the third pass, he's just like, are you going to talk to me or what? And I'm just like, well, first of all, I'm not your buddy. You and I have never been friends. And I am not really interested in listening to all your Jesus nonsense. And if you're going to continue, you're on your phone. I can hear you over there because you're loud. You know what I mean? You're having the same thing as me, so you're not necessarily dying. So, please quit being a pussy. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
It's good.
Yeah.
No,
No,
you're
fine.
You know what I mean? I'm just like,
it's just no cartilage, dude. Calm down.
When you talk to these young ladies, treat them with some respect. They're here to help you. You're on your phone, you phony bastard, and you're talking to these people like you're somebody special, or like, whatever it is that you're doing, and then you treat everybody like, I don't need to know a guy like you. You and I don't need to have a conversation. But when I left there, I thought to myself, because I was a little weird for a few days afterwards, dude, because I was knocking on death's door. And it wasn't like, oh my God, I don't have Jesus. I don't have anything of that. And I actually took a picture. It was on my Facebook page, but I waited purposely 9 days to post it. Because while I was bored laying there, I took a picture so that I could flip off my friends. And laying in bed, and then I posted it 9 days after. And I did that purposely so that no one would pray for me. It was just like, and a lot of times I either, will either turn off comments completely if I post something that's going to be like that, but I just don't want it. And since I've started this journey, I think I had like not all the time, but I had like 350 Facebook friends, and now I'm down to like 140 or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, people bailed and I've had people approach me, and now that I got the atheist flag in front of my house, I'm proud of it. Screw it. But in front of my house, I have people dropping off Jesus pamphlets and all kinds of stuff on my on my porch. It's just like, whatever, man, do what you got to do. But it's just
kindling.
Yeah, and people that'll come to me and say, well, I had a guy that I know, I would say acquaintance more than a friend, but came to me and said that I'm just so, and he's all the time on Facebook putting stuff on there. Jesus this, Jesus that, my pastor, my this, whatever. Dude, I sometimes I snooze him for 30 days, I'll be honest, when he gets a little carried away. But he actually came to me and he's just like, he's got this distraught look on his face. He's like, I just have to tell you that it just hurts my heart that you moved away from Jesus. And I'm like, well, that's because you're a pussy. But, and look, dude, I don't chase you around or try to, tell you that it's wrong, to worship Jesus or whatever it is that you want to do, or put your money in the basket, or, be one of the sheep. I don't try to do that to you. You know what I mean?
You can leave me alone. All you want, man.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, you do you. But yeah, I've lost some people. But
it's probably one of the worst things I think that happens following people finding out that you've deconstructed and you're no longer a believer. I think that's one of the worst things that happens, to be honest. Other than, being an apostate might get you killed. That's pretty seriously harsh too. But losing people can hurt big time.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, if they weren't really true friends to begin with, I'm the same person I was 2 years ago. The only difference between then and now is that I never claimed to be a Christian, but is that now I'm an atheist. And like with your show, I've liked and shared it, because that matters. And the ones that I like, and I've liked and shared Dave's show, but people see that on my Facebook, and then they start asking questions. Well, whatever, do what you're going to do. But I've also had some people as late come to me and say, that feel the same way, and so I have been able to have that conversation too. And it's kind of starting to even itself out, which I think is really cool.
Right.
But
I mean, it's funny because as soon as you start putting up boundaries, like, well, you know what? I'm going to stop letting so much bullshit in and out of my circle. I'm just going to say, put up some knowledge pillars around here just to let people know where I stand. And then people are like, well, I can't stand for him trying to use science and knowledge and shit. No. Faith only for me on social media. And it's like, is that what you were adding me for? Because you thought I was like your faith partner? Like, I always think that's weird too. Like, did you think I was your brother in Christ this whole time? Like, because I didn't.
Tons of Mice has a question for you, but how close is Patrick to the Maumee River at this moment?
At this moment, 4 or 5 miles at the most. I live pretty close to downtown, so I'm very close actually.
Oh, okay.
But that, like Mikey was just talking about, I mean, they have that, the science. I think that we're a serious threat because, I mean, as science, obviously, this as they, a lot of these answers are coming out, and as we progress, it's kind of hard to say, well, God created that. Well, not so much,
Yeah, no.
And I had someone say, well,
to be the case.
You never would have known that you were sick, or you never would have been able to do that, but God had a plan for you. Well, no, I was having trouble, and I went to the hospital, and science is the one that corrected it. You know what I mean? They went through my wrist, man. That's just crazy. And years ago, they wouldn't have been able to do that. Yeah. And put in 3 stents.
Super sticker, Native Atheist. That's awesome. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But
so they did. We have a friend who has had several heart surgeries. He'll probably be in the after party. I thought they always went through his like thigh, right? He said they always went through his, and I thought like he had the cracked rib thing, but then I thought they did the thigh thing. They can go to your heart through your wrist.
Yeah, they do that now.
Now
they used to go through your groin. And
now they're just showing off.
Hey, Phil.
Well, you know what? It was awesome because I spent the night one night and I was out. They put 3 stents in and I was out the next day. And I mean, it was
not surprising.
Science is amazing, and it's just like, but someone always has to throw God at that, and that's not the case.
It keeps getting better. What about that new medicine that they've come, this new pill apparently that can tackle like 70 something different cancers, including like breast cancer, lung cancer, like all these cancers could be battled now by making them self-destruct or something, some new medication. Makes the cancer cells just like explode, I guess, or fall apart.
Yeah,
but they haven't. They just started recently, I think in early June or something. They started with human trials on it, so it's been 100% successful with all the animal trials that they've tried. And I know, I'm not really for animal trials. I get that, but it's one of those things. Like, well, we got to do something to figure this stuff out.
Well, soon, Neil, God's gonna inspire somebody's brain to create that cure.
Yeah. Well, when
after all that work, they're gonna be like, finally, God has inspired a man to do this. They're still gonna give him credit.
Somebody says those are just Tic Tacs, Neil. No, they're not Tic Tacs.
And some of it's so blatantly obvious, and they just refuse. And I'm not trying to change them. I mean, they get to do what they're gonna do. It just
right.
There you go.
Oh my. So I really wish they'd find something to cure ALS. That's
yes.
Yeah, put that out there because that's just
Yep, that's there's inroads on the ALS front too. I mean, our science gets better and better as time goes on, right? So I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to figure out a way to get rid of all of these horrifying diseases and ills and stuff that plague the human species, right?
Right.
I think that day is coming soon. And I also think they'll be able to extend our lifespans as well. They've already done it multiple times, so people can live to be almost, 100 and something years old nowadays, it seems. When you were lucky to make it past fucking 30 at one time in our history.
Yeah.
So, but there are other reasons for that too. Like
your mother was 14 and with a 90-year-old father, she had you in a stable. Like, it was weird. They were weird back then.
Yeah.
They didn't wash their hands after.
Why didn't they just eat the freaking snake?
Yeah. I hear snake is good.
Tastes like chicken.
Take the apple.
I shouldn't say that in front of Matt or Aaron, though. I don't really know Aaron because I know there's big snake guys, but so
just grab the apple.
Aaron and Matt.
Just bash the snake with the apple. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah,
with it forever.
Definitely been a journey, this little thing called life. But the fact that I could go in there in 45 minutes, I went through my rest tonight. I was
45 minutes?
Yeah, it took them 45 minutes start to finish, man.
Oh, well,
modern tech.
And one of them was 98% blocked, one was 85, and one was 80. So I was basically knocking at death's door. I just didn't know it. But
wow,
I knew something was going on, but I just thought it was because I was getting old. I was almost.
It's a miracle, Patrick. That's why you're here talking to us today. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
it's the finely tuned argument.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I got out of that, and I will say this because before, and I have been a little argumentative. That's always been me. I think D told you I don't have a filter. That's kind of true. It's not really a bad thing. I just tell the truth. But as late, I've been kind of asking myself, how important is it? Is it my business? Am I going to hurt anybody on purpose by saying what I'm about to say? So I've kind of dialed it back because I think if I'm going to have a theme moving forward, being an atheist, which I would choose first, do no harm. So I'm not trying to hurt anyone.
Look at you.
Actualized
already off the blocks to a better start than most of us, because most people go on a fire campaign.
I know, and
salt
I
the earth
see it.
Time, and they get fucking cranky.
But but I listen to some of these shows, and it's just like when these people come on, and there's one guy I can't remember his name, but he's probably been on your show, and he shows up on every single one of them, and sometimes he takes up the whole thing. Just
man,
it's just annoying.
Who's that?
But
it's probably me then. If it's annoying,
no,
most likely.
No, it's likely. Yeah.
He's a theist, but I just
sounds like Dawkins.
Yeah, Garth Dawkins. Is that him?
I think so. Everybody knows who he is as soon as they answer the phone, and you can see the whole shit on their face.
It's like, here we
go.
go.
End result is always the same. But yeah,
here he goes again.
God damn it! Hang on a second.
Break.
I'm not interested. I had a conversation with a friend of mine a while ago because he blurted out because he's a Catholic. And well, you can't be an atheist. I'm like, well, I am an atheist. He's just like, well,
you can't be.
So what you're saying is that, and I know he was really tight with his mom, and I don't know what possessed me to say this, but he was really tight with his mom, and she passed away, a long time ago. And he talks about it, and from what I understand, she was a great lady.
Could be Otangelo.
He was carrying on. Like what you're saying is that I'm never going to see my mother again. And can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I'll never see my mother again because my mother's in heaven and I'm never going to see her. And if you're saying there's no heaven and there's no hell and there's no God, then I'm never going to see my mother. I'm like, dude, look at your life, man. Look at your brother. Look at your sister. Your mom is a part of who you are. That was like brilliant. I don't even know how I came up with that, but that's
nice, actually. That was well played.
She's like, she's a part of who you are. She's a part of your essence. She's gone physically, but you know what I mean? I mean, look at the person that you are. And then he was carrying on about the devil and all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, well, you're Catholic. Okay. I get the whole Catholic thing, but you were also recently cheating on your wife. Now, how does that work out? I mean, isn't that like on them commandments that Moses brought down from there? I heard he dropped the third one. There was actually 3 tablets, but he dropped one. So isn't that right in there? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Are you doing that?
That one didn't set right, so he just threw it to the side.
How does that work? Do you just go to church then and you just give the priest who's probably doing something he shouldn't be doing anyway and confess and throw a few extra Hail Marys and an extra 50 in the basket, you're absolved? I mean, how does that work?
It's all good. Indulgences, man. Indulgences. You just put a little extra in the plate and you're fine.
Well, how do you explain them? Like, look, dude, religion is everybody, you got the Muslims that have theirs. You got the Buddhists that have theirs. Everybody has a God. I mean, most of the stories and the stuff in there, I'm like, the Bible is a fictional owner's manual for sheep, is what it is. That pissed him off. I'm like, it's basically, that's what it is.
Instruction book for idiots.
Yeah, it's an instruction book for, I said, as long as there's been a hierarchy of man ever, there's been a God to worship or to fear, regardless if it's a Christian God, another God, or somebody else's God. So how do you know what's the right
thousands that have been?
It isn't, thousands of them. It's not. I mean, how can you even look at that? I mean, it's on our freaking money and God you trust, for crying out loud. I mean, Christianity is so just woven into our society, our politics, our everything. I mean, it's a cash cow. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So
I don't know how familiar you are with the Satanic Temple, but they have something that they consider to be like their version of the 10 Commandments.
Okay. I'm not familiar.
It's the 7 tenets that they call it. And if you'll indulge me for a minute, I can read them out to you. And this is mainly
coming in at number 1. Oh, wait, hold on. Hi,
put on my look smarter glasses.
This is Casey Kasem. Right
Could
now,
you leave
we're
out
going
the
to
ones
be
that are
bringing
not
on
convenient?
the Satanic Tenets, coming in at number 1.
Number 1. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. Number 2. The struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. Number 3. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. Number 4. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego your own. Number 5. Beliefs should conform to our best scientific understanding of the world. We should take care and never to distort scientific fact to fit our own beliefs. Where was I? Number 6.
And bringing up numbers. I thought that was 6.
No, this is number 6.
Okay.
People are fallible. If we make a mistake, we should do our best to rectify it and resolve any harm that may have been caused. And finally, number 7.
Number 7.
Every tenet is a every tenet is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word. There you have it.
Sounds like a bunch of radicals trying to take over the government and
How
make
does
us
that
all
sound horrible?
communists.
Goddamn communists.
I guarantee that's not the list they have at the Christian church.
I guarantee you it isn't.
Rule number 1, give me your wife. Rule number 2, give me your kids. Rule number 3, give me your money. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say at the end of the day, it all boils down to this.
yeah. All I have
Well, I
is
think it-
coin versions.
What was it? What's his name there? The comedian George Carlin said he could really just boil it down to like 2 commandments.
Yeah.
Because a few of them can be merged into one. Like, don't be a douchebag, or try to live an honest and like an honest life or whatever. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat. Don't hurt people. That kind of thing.
Some
the other
people
one
like
is,
some people like being cheated on. So I think that doesn't. I mean, that's kink shaming. First off, how does he know?
Well, early
My
on,
wife
Mike,
my wife might be
I
into that.
think-
I don't know.
I think. I personally don't know too many people that like being cheated on. So
It's
I
a
don't
rare
think
kink.
that's really a big thing.
It's a rare kink, but it's a thing.
Oh, okay.
It's not in this house.
It's kind of weird, but okay.
Notice how I'm still here.
I Stephanie.
yeah,
I don't think
congratulations
you
on the
should do
baby,
that.
by the way, Michael.
Oh, thank you very much. She is a little thunder. Gosh, she's crazy. She's so insane. I don't know where she gets it from.
Oh,
I
do.
can't do it anymore. I just can't. I have grandchildren now, so I mean, I spend time with them, but I really won't. My oldest is 15, but my youngest, or the granddaughter's 3, and she's just my only weakness, actually. Well, that and pizza, but I go see her. She's got her little sparkly shoes on, and I always have to tell her every time I see her how beautiful her sparkly shoes are, and she says, "I know," but you know what I mean. It's kind of life. Don't ever forget to compliment the sparkly shoes, man.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that other stuff and with the Christian, it's just Michael McDonald had said earlier, and something that he sent me was that there's no hate like Christian love, and I didn't understand that at first, but as I progress in this thing, I'm like, oh my God. And the atheist community is completely the opposite of everything I did or didn't believe that it was. It's just they're just people helping people, and they come after you like that's just
And I think for a lot of people who are recently deconverted, it can feel a lot like the atheist community does a lot of love bombing, which is 100% a tactic by the church where everybody's like super friendly to you and come on in, and maybe not so much in the Catholic side of things, but especially in like Baptist and stuff like that. They got you at the cookouts and you're going over to the barbecue at so-and-so's house, and it becomes this very, very social event.
yeah.
And they use that to control you and manipulate you. So a lot of people, like, they'll see how welcoming the community is, and then they go right back into the turtle shell, and they're just like, what the hell was that? They almost scooped me up in another cult. It's like, hey, we're still here. Just, you good? You good in there?
Yeah.
We see you ran back in your shell. You all right? we're just chilling out here if you want to come on in. But I mean, by and large, I mean, there's definitely some exceptions, but by and large, the atheist community will take you, whatever you got's wrong with you. We got it too. So come on in. It's fine.
Well, and like my oldest brother knows. I've heard people talk about. I really haven't shared it much with my family. I don't really think it to be an issue, but my mom is, she's almost 90 years old, so she's not gonna make it many more years. But my mom has that belief that she's going to be, reunited with my father, and you know what I mean. And I don't believe that. I mean, and even with my own, I mean, I can see my dad in my brothers. I don't really see him in me, but I can see him in my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But that's her belief, and that's what they've always done. And I'm not going to take that away from her, nor would I ever try. You know what I mean? What purpose would that serve? So,
you mentioned your grandkids and kids. Like, are they religious as well?
they are not.
Okay. All right.
And actually, when I told my oldest daughter, when I told her I was atheist, that was not a surprise to her at all. So they know things that you think they don't know.
She was like, finally, you said it. Like, she's just waiting on you.
I don't know, but I mean, she doesn't really practice anything, and she's not like not that in my knowledge, an atheist, but she just doesn't believe in God. And I never really
shit.
pushed it.
That's right.
So
Forgot about
we
that.
did go
Yes,
to church.
Jimmy Buffett passed away.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And I did get kicked out of that. When I got divorced, I did try to go. This was prior, but I went to some churches. I was in that space right after you get divorced, and you're trying to figure shit out.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, well, because I'm not really big on, I'm not an oversensitive guy, but I thought, well, I'll go check some things out. And I went to a Southern Baptist church, and I did not go to a Catholic church. I know what that's about. And that's some real shit right there, man. I mean, with the screaming and the
Baptist
Jesus
church.
and that was some crazy shit.
It's
I
up
mean,
to
it was
11
cool.
over there.
Huh?
It's up
What's
to
that?
11 over there.
But I'm like, wow. And I was just like, but I was there for the wrong. I was in there, and I wasn't really thinking about Jesus. I was thinking because there was some, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying because it's true. There was some very large people in this very old building, and they're jumping around and screaming. And I thought, what's the weight limit on this floor? You know what I mean? It was like, and they were very nice. You know what I mean? But I was just like, I thought, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And then I was in the Church of Nazarene for a little bit. This specific church, I won't say where, and I changed the names on people, but
If I was in there, that floor would have crumbled.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a reason why, though. I recently went on a plane trip over to the island. Sorry to cut you off, but this is just a quick little story. And I had to weigh myself for the, for gas and stuff like that for my brother-in-law, who's the pilot. And I stepped on the scale, and I haven't stepped on a scale in I don't know how long, and this is with my clothes on, so you could subtract I think it's 8 or 9 pounds from this, but 283 pounds.
wow.
He's a thick boy.
I'm like, fuck, I'm fat. I got to deal with this shit. But everyone's like, well, you don't look it, because I'm a large guy too. Like I'm 6'4" and whatnot, so I can hide it well. But yeah, 280 fucking 3 pounds.
Did they
Like,
say,
holy
Mr. Bernstein,
shit.
we're gonna have you sit. We're gonna have to change your seat, put you near the middle of the plane,
No.
So the weight
but I did hear,
more towards the center.
Yeah, so
I
we
heard
can
the
bear the
scale
load
groan.
evenly. You gotta sit in the middle of the plane, sir.
I had to sit in the back of the plane. My mom and my brother-in-law were up front, and I was in the back. We just flew over to Victoria for a brunch. So
That's 128 kilograms for those of you keeping track at home.
yeah, fat
Right.
is what that is. I'm a fat ass now.
Whatever.
Officially. You'll lean. Hey, you need that for this cold winter coming up. You'll lean up once spring comes.
Right.
Yeah, because it's cold up there, doesn't it?
Sure.
I imagine.
It's not cold up here right now. It's fucking, what is it?
Well, not now, but I mean, like in February.
Yeah,
right now it's 27 degrees Celsius. So
oh, Lord, no one knows what that means.
like 70 something, I think.
All right,
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
I could swing in my new little handheld computer here on the arm, and
What'd you say it was? 27?
27 degrees Celsius.
80.
It says fair underneath it. So
It's fucking hot.
apparently
It's 80.
fair is yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that beforehand, man. I just basically learned how not long ago when I started talking to D regularly how to do the little camera thing on my Facebook Messenger so that I could have look at that. You know what I mean?
It's not 140.
So doing something like this, I'm just like, oh shit, how do I do that?
Oh, I told you it's easy. You just have to click the link I send you and just follow the prompts and get yourself
And
in
here I
there.
am.
And here we go. Yeah, exactly.
So
You've done it.
cool.
Yes, you have.
You have.
Yeah, in my little
succeeded.
journey, I got kicked out of the Church of the Nazarene.
Oh, did you?
Why'd they kick
Yeah,
you
they
out?
kicked me out. They asked me nicely to leave.
What,
I was
what'd
there for a
you
little bit.
do?
And they had their Bible, they had their things. They had their Bible study. They asked me if I wanted to come to their Bible study. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to Bible study. I went to the Bible study, and there was a lot of hate in that room. And I'm just like, they're talking about Muslims, and they're talking about this people, and they're talking about gay people, and they're talking about trans people, and they're talking about every kind of people, and none of it was positive. And I'm just like, well, and then they said, well, Jesus is coming, and blah, 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 blah. And I can't help it. And then when it's my turn, they're just like, yeah, well, I don't really know about Jesus is coming or not, but if he is, not really sure he's going to be really looking forward to talking to any of you. All this hate you got going on. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be trying to tell you things that you want to hear. You know what I mean? I mean, they nailed him to a cross for crying out loud. He's probably not in the best
Because he was a
mood.
liberal.
He's got to come back. But
Jesus was a progressive of his time, for fuck's sake.
so they didn't like that. And then when I went down, they got this thing called the fellowship.
If he was
room.
real.
And I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to go through the fellowship room to get to the bathroom. And Pastor, I'm just going to call him Frank, although that wasn't his name. But and he's down there, and his wife and his daughters are down there, and there's people down there, man. And he's just like, he's talking to his wife in a disrespectful, condescending way that was just like she was way beneath him. And I just walked past him, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, way to be an asshole, Frank. And I went to the bathroom. And after, he got mad. I'm just like, dude, you don't talk to your wife like that, man. Especially if there's people around. What the hell is wrong with you? It's supposed to be your life partner. And he's just like, well,
oh God,
but you're divorced. And I'm like, yeah, I am, dude. So you probably ought to listen if I tell you quit being an asshole. And then,
you think I know? You think
like
I don't know?
Half hour later, uncomfortably, he kind of walks up. He says, after he gathered himself, he got mad. After he gathered himself, he's like, Patrick, I'm just not sure that the Church of the Nazarene is the right fit for you. I'm like, are you kicking me out? He's just like, well, you may want to find somewhere else to, maybe not come back next week. I'm like, damn, I'm getting kicked out of the church. I'm just like, all right, man. I shook his hand. I was polite to him. I left. I'm just like, I just got kicked out of the church. How do you get kicked out of a church? Aren't you supposed to love everybody?
And then y'all kicking people out.
Y'all supposed to minister to me.
You're supposed to love me and turn the other cheek, not kick me out. What the hell?
You're supposed to minister to me, and if I have questions, you're supposed to answer them.
You my brother in Christ. You're supposed to counsel me, not put me out. What is this?
I see things a little differently than some because I live in a place. I live in a place called a place called the Old West End, and we have here. Does everybody? I think they do for the most part. Everybody gets along, but I mean, it's a historic district, and you have white people, black people, gay people, straight people, Republicans, Democrats, and maybe even a few purple people eaters. I ain't judging, but
purple people eaters.
Everybody's just everybody, and I think that when I moved here, and I didn't want to live here, my ex-wife wanted to live here, but after I came here, because I've always been kind of a prick, but I'm still kind of an old curmudgeon prick, but I'm trying to
much nicer prick these days, is that right?
I'll say what needs to be said. I will leave it alone unless you bring it to me. But
right,
I'm not interested in the hate, man. Any of it. I don't care who you want for president. I don't care what what I mean. What your politics are. You're still a human being, and you got the right to believe what you want to believe. So, whether it's Jesus or it's that thing that you read about the with the commandments just a minute ago. Oh, that would never be. I heard that and I thought, now look at that. I didn't know anything about that. But so
sounds like you had some fun though along the way.
I've had some fun along the way. I've had some shit happen too, but it is what it is.
So
yeah, fair enough.
So as a fellow sarcastic smartass, have you found that as you as you've gotten older, like you start to challenge yourself to like, how severe can I get this cut on this guy with the fewest words possible? Where they only you only give them like a bump, and that's all they get from you, but you've just devastated them. That's
because I got to be honest, I've gotten so good at it over the years that I'm kind of going the opposite way now, where I'm trying to not do that. I'm trying to
draw it out now.
I don't want to sound weak. Like I'm trying to be a comfortable presence in people's lives, but I am divorced, and I'm not going to badmouth my ex-wife because she had to put up with a lot. I was never a cheater or anything like that, but she once told me not all that long ago, well, that's because you have a total lack of empathy for anyone, and that's not completely untrue. But it's not completely true either. But I see things for what they are. Not for what they, the picture that you're trying to paint. And if it's bullshit, I'll call bullshit. But it is what it is. But I had a situation when I had my knee replaced and I was on my way home. What's this? Not sure why Mikey is calling himself psychiatric smarter. What a dumbass. Oh, that wasn't nice at all.
That's Ollie. Mikey's like, someone ain't getting a link.
But I have my friends down the street. I'm just going to call them Tom and Phil. And they've been together for a long time. They're great guys. They would help anybody with anything. And I have screwed with them so badly since I've been here. And they are my friends because I'm a smart ass. I say stuff. They're walking their dogs down the street. I say, good morning, bitches. I can't not do it. But when I came home from my, on my way from the,
they obviously know that though, right? Like they don't take you seriously, do they?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I think sometimes they were a little offended in the beginning, maybe not, but now they just kind of like whatever. But I'm not as bad as I was. But I just and that when I was on my way home from physical therapy, and when you go to physical therapy, you ain't dressing up. I had shorts on. When you have knee surgery or any kind of surgery, they put like these things on that are for blood clots. They look like nylons.
Yeah,
dude, I had tennis shoes on. I had gym shorts. I had the stuff. I'm going to physical therapy, and it's February, and I didn't pay no attention, man. I just don't care what I look like. I'm just going to get my shit fixed.
Right.
And so I stop at Speedway on my way back, and I grab myself something, a little piece of pizza and something in the coffee on my way back. I'm thinking, I'm freaking hungry. And there's this guy in there, and when I got ready to leave, I held the door. Well, I never really realized what I looked like, nor did I care. I'm a dude walking down the street, getting out of my car in tennis shoes and nylons and shorts on. You know what I mean? And that's, but
whatever.
I come out of the store and I held the door. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't need you to hold the door for me. I'm not a fag. And I'm just like, oh, well, congratulations. And I got in my car and I just thought, what the hell just happened there? But then on the way home, I was thinking that my friends down the street, I thought, well, and I do still screw with them. Man. Yeah, I still screw with them. But I would also, if somebody had meant to do hate to them when they were coming down the street, I'd be the first in line to, help whip somebody's ass. But I was just like, I got to thinking about that, and I thought, I mess with them a lot, and I probably should stop that because I just had 30 seconds of it. You know what I mean? Right. Of somebody getting the wrong impression because I don't know what they thought I looked like, but it didn't occur to me until after the fact, and I thought they've been listening to this bullshit their whole lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? And all this hate, and that's when I decided I didn't really want any part of that, and I kind of started being I was being real nice to them. I started calling them because I get nicknames for everybody. I started calling them by their given names. Dude, they got really uncomfortable with that until finally one of them was just like, stop it. I'm just like, what do you mean? They're just like, why are you being so nice to us? I'm like, I had to think about that too.
Go back.
So, yeah.
They were confused. You confused them.
Yeah, I did. But I have no time.
Until then you were like you're the nice douchebag that lived down the street.
Yeah, and I think they still say that, but it's okay, But yeah, they're just great people, and I don't have any time, dude. I'm almost 60 years old, and how do I want to spend it? Do I want to spend it hating on people? Do I want to spend it judging people, or do I want to let people and go do what I want to do? You know what I mean? I want to just, I'm not interested. So.
Yeah, I'm closing in on 62.
Yeah, the hate can suck it.
Not me.
Not 62, but 60 as well. Coming up in October, I'll be 57. So, that's getting up there.
I'll live forever.
You don't want to do that.
Young,
you don't want to do that.
No, but if anything, I want to make the best time. Especially since I hate to break it to you, gentlemen, we're not going to heaven. So you might as well take this time you got and make the best of it.
It's okay. When we're dead, we're not going to know what the hell's going on anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And when you go to the grocery store, if you take your son, is there a son that you have?
I have a little girl.
Oh, a little girl?
Mm-hmm.
When you're approaching the grocery store, because I used to do this to my grandson when he was little, I'd always, when the door is going to kick when you hit the sensor. When you get close to the sensor, I'd always say shit like open sesame and the door would open. And he thought I was freaking magic. I was messing with him. I filled that kid's head with so much shit for so long that when he finally came out of it.
You know how long it's going to take for her to realize I don't have Jedi powers? It's going to take a few years before she's like, Dada, you're not a Jedi. That door opens for everybody.
Yeah. And I think my dad is so cool. He opens the door for everybody. He just waves at it.
I came in the middle of the night with a little piece of chalk and I put a spell right here, and it's gonna open for everybody until I get back. And actually, let me go get some chalk. Like I'm fully engaged in making the most fanciful, crazy life for this kid as possible. I was just talking to the wife, and she was trying to tell me about some episode of Buffy, trying to just trying to remember something of it. I was like, we should totally do them. Like, all right, Kara, let me tell you the story of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This one time she was fighting with Angel, and Angel came down. Like, we could totally use sitcoms as bedtime stories. She doesn't know. She's not going to go back and watch a fucking TV show from 40 years ago. She don't care.
Why not?
She's not going to go back and watch Buffy. There's no chance that she's going to watch Buffy. It just ain't going to happen.
You got to be careful with that, though, too, because when my grandson was like 3, we had him for a couple of days. We're driving by the cemetery, and on the way to the store, driving by the cemetery, and he goes, I hear from this little voice from the back seat saying, I hate that place. I'm like, what place, little man? He goes, the cemetery. I'm like, why you hate the cemetery? He goes, because that's where those douchebag zombies live that are going to eat my brains. And I'm like, damn it. I had to have a talk with my daughter the next day. I'm like, you're watching that Walking Dead, aren't you, while the boy's still awake? Stop watching that shit, man. You got to be mindful of what you're exposing them to.
He said, fuck that cemetery. That's what those douchebags zombies are.
Yeah. Want to eat my brains.
It's
serious, it's a heart attack. I'm like, all right, there's no zombies in there, bro.
Why do we even have cemeteries? It's just zombies.
They retain everything, man. You got to be careful.
It's just a trap of zombies you got placed all over the city just for us to get taken over with.
Yeah, right. No, but this has been an awesome journey. It really has. I mean, there's just so many things that I've learned, and even things about myself that I've changed, and it's just like I got this lineup of shows that I watch, and the Theists when they come on. I'm not trying to watch any of them get nailed, but I'll tell you what, when they get on there with Matt, or even when Michael Wiseman does it a little differently, but I mean, they start out strong, and then they're watching their argument fade, and I can't really go through and look at the Bible. I mean, say this is this verse and that verse like these guys can, and go in there and just pick stuff up and say, well, that's not actually what it says at all. You know what I mean? And or
everything they throw at them, they're just like, no, it actually goes like this. And I'm like, shit. All right.
And then
next verse.
They start getting frustrated, and then it's just like they're looking for the exit, and it's just like
they're like, I can't rage quit. I got to find something.
I just can't. I just skip to the end. I'm just like, all right, here's the deal. It's an owner's manual for sheep. Okay.
It's a Google's for, man. You need to look up the Bible verses, just type it into fucking Google. Just fucking slam away on it and just and then it'll come up for you. So.
Communicator, come down.
Yes. Here I am.
So I'm more like, just go do what you're gonna do and just leave me out of it. And I actually have a sign under my doorbell on the front of my house that says, you know, who not to ring the bell. Clipboard people, politicians, religious people, and ding, you know, and somebody standing there with their Bible. It's like, you can't read, huh?
You want me to read that Bible, but you can't read this sign. Come on now. Meet me halfway.
And you'd think that they think because you're a devil worshiper because you got an atheist flag in front of your house, even though that's not what it is. You know what I mean? That they wouldn't even bother, but it seems like that since that's there, now they want to. It's like they want to double down and try to convince you of the error of your ways. It never works out.
Since your deconversion story was a little bit different than most, you probably wouldn't go back in time and talk to younger you and tell you anything different because you kind of did it more as an adult. But if someone's like kind of on that edge of, I don't know if I believe all this stuff yet, like what would you, what advice would you give them?
Now or then?
Now. I guess I'm not. You now.
That they're on the fence, to do the research for themselves. If they have questions, I'll answer the questions. You know, I know a couple of people right now, one individual that is also from a really, I don't remember what religion that her family is a part of, but very interested in this, but also doesn't have the courage yet You know what I mean? The same.
step away.
The family are really family.
Yeah.
Not actively participating, but at the same time would never tell their family that, that this is what I'm doing, or ever pronounce themselves an atheist, but has been asking a lot of questions. And I've gotten that from a few people so far. And honestly, some of the questions I just don't have. So, or some of the answers I just don't have. So I do the best I can, I guess. But then again, that's where it comes up first. Do no harm. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to drag them in, but I don't like it when they attack either. That pisses me off. So I will address that when it comes up. But
For sure.
It just is what it is.
Well, Patrick, we have come up on the top of the hour here, so I do want to thank you for. See, you made it through the whole hour, and we talked about some relevant stuff too about the shit. So, told you we could do it.
Yeah, you carried it too.
Any of it.
You carried it. We only talked for like a little bit. You carried the whole thing.
I did.
On YouTube, you can rewatch it. You'll be able to catch on.
Don't rewatch your own episode. I did it, and I regret it. Don't ever rewatch your episode.
Okay.
You will hate it.
I have to say this stuff.
Pick it apart every second.
Before we go, I got to say this. And I had this conversation the other day with a young lady that does her own podcast. And she was talking about some of the elders. And I don't know if she's talking about you, but, the people that have been here a long time, you, Dave, Aaron, and these people. And that, like I'm not going to say less than, but she's just like, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure. Because I messaged her and told her the show was fabulous, because it was. And the energy that she has, and that this energy that she has, if you could siphon off 2% of that, you could charge your electric car for 3
That's what I'm
months.
saying.
And I'm just
power
like,
shit with that.
But there's people like, yourself, and David McDonald and these other people that they're so freaking brilliant. And I would have to think that. And I told her that. I'm like, I'd have to think that these other people that you look up to, they probably see the same thing as when they see you, or when they have you on their show. And she's been on your show as well, dude. I mean, and
who is it?
It's shit.
Oh, you can remember. Sorry.
She's
I didn't mean to put you on
comedian.
the spot. Oh, you're talking about
Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah.
She's freaking awesome. But it's her.
She's amazing.
You know what I mean? And these other people, I'm pretty sure that these other guys that they have you on there, and she was just so grateful that to be on these people's shows. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm pretty sure they probably feel the same way. You know what I mean? Because if they're looking back and at the time that they've been here, and then when I first found this, I thought, why didn't I find this a long time ago? Mm-hmm. But then I wouldn't have benefited from your contacts, from your stuff. So, I mean, these younger people, and they're just brilliant, and the things that they come up with, and they're so freaking smart. And it's just like, so the atheist movement, or whatever you want to call this, is in good hands when everybody else, eventually moves in another direction. Let's just say that.
That's what
Tons of Mice says Sydney thinks birds are real. So there's that.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust anything. She thinks fucking birds are real.
Yeah, well,
they're obviously fucking cameras from the government. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
She's good people, and she's freaking brilliant, as are a lot of.
She works for the
so.
government, clearly. All them birds in her house. She's training and upgrading all the birds for the next season.
The guy get
ready for the migration.
I know some bird people, and those birds live to be forever. And so that is a serious commitment. So
that's a serious camera.
That. Yeah, right.
Because of high build quality.
So
no animal could live that long, obviously. Parrots or cameras.
So you don't know anything about whales then, do you?
Dude, like 80 freaking years, some of them.
80 years.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Well, this is the kind of stuff we can talk about in the after party. You're going to come to the after party, aren't you, Patrick?
Yes, I will, until I have to pee. Oh, wait a minute. I got a break before, huh?
Mm-hmm. We do a break before, so go and drain the vein, as they say, between the shows.
And rebud.
And yeah. Anyone got Sydney's at? Yes, Fern, I can get that to you. No problem.
Oh, I got you.
Can.
I got it.
All right.
Oh, there. Another coins for the... Did you put your phone on silent again?
No, I didn't put my phone on silent. It just wasn't very loud. I had it toned down. Sorry, geez.
He put the coins up all passive aggressively, and I was like, I didn't hear it. I did not hear. Not fair.
Oh, I just didn't think you heard it, so I did it myself. I wasn't trying to be passive aggressive.
It's
I
a
have,
joke. It's
I
a
could
joke.
do it too. Anywho, Patrick, thank you so much, my friend, for coming on
Thank
and
you.
joining Mikey and me, man. It was a pleasure having you here.
All right, it was my pleasure being here.
And thank you to everyone in the chats over here on YouTube and over on Twitch as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure having you guys out there to interact with. And you guys say some funny stuff, so we like to showcase that. Also, thanks to our amazing patrons and our members. We've got lots of members now. Thanks, everyone, for becoming members to the show. Also, thanks to our patrons, too, because all the money that's being generated for the show is going to this guy right over here, because kids ain't cheap, and I do okay on the otherwise, so I got other side hustles. So
She's almost into size 3 diapers.
It's
It's
those are the ones I can wear on my head. Anyway.
Yeah, them things almost have pockets. I'm like, you're gonna have to start going to the bathroom, dude. This is a big ass diaper.
I know, right? Anyway, folks, if you want to be a part of the after party, just let us know. We'll get a link to you. You can jump in here with Patrick and Mikey and me and have some fun for about an hour and a half or so. We usually go for. So until then, though, guys. Oh, by the way, all the music that you hear is also done by me and my band. And also there's also Mikey's music in the description box below, which is great as well. So definitely check that stuff out. And until then, like I always say at the end of the interview section, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Bye.
Link to the after party below. Bye.